Hi folks, I hope you can hear me alright. I'm just sitting here by the beach. Yeah, I'm actually in Mauritius for a couple of days, a number of days, and just taking a bit of a break, I suppose, and trying to unwind a little bit. And the place is beautiful that I'm staying at, the beach at least. The nature is really just inviting and hospitable and welcoming, as I often find nature to be. Soothing, calming, and whatnot. And yeah, I've been here for one night so far. This will be my second night. And I'll be heading back to South Africa in a few days' time. So there's no crime here in Mauritius, so that's kind of weird for me. It's like now I can sit on the beach and not have and it's nighttime. It's about 9 o'clock at night, and not have a worry whatsoever of my safety. In a sense, and which is just, it's strange for me to try and comprehend that in a way. It's just something or other, not something that I'm used to. And if I wish to as well, I'm just realizing there's people here. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah. So what I'm realizing is that, like, if I wanted to go for a walk in the street now, I could, and I wouldn't have to worry. And again, that's such a strange feeling for me. Okay? And when I asked the people here, like, can you walk on the beach after dark? And they were like, why wouldn't you? I said, is it safe? And they laughed at me. They were like, what do you mean safe? And for them, it's like so absurd to think that it wouldn't be safe. It's such a far thing. And not only that, but people here, when they go into the ocean, they leave their valuables just sitting on their beach chairs. And for me in South Africa, that's unheard of. You constantly, I mean, you don't let anything go. I mean, even at the airport, you hold on to your luggage, right? Because if you let it go for too long, it could just disappear. So you're always holding on to everything. You're always making sure that everything is darn locked all the time. Okay? You're always having to look over your shoulder. You're always having to be paying attention to the environment around you. And there's always this constant looming threat of some kind of violence being, brought into your existence or something. It's just terrible. It's not a way of life. And, well, what can you do? I mean, so that's where I'm at. And I have no sort of goals or intentions or opportunities really to leave the country, South Africa, that I'm in for now. And so I have to put up with it to a certain degree, the best that I can, and it's just so difficult. It's also like South Africa, the people there are just so out of hand in a way. They're such a lawless place, like I mentioned before. It's so lawless and it's so corrupted. And it's an absolute joke, and there's no value for life. People drive how they want to drive, they drink and drive. I've spoken about this. The government is so corrupted. They've stolen billions out of the country, whatever it is. They are the biggest gangsters that you can imagine, and they're just getting away with it, and people are still voting them in and whatever it is, because the population is just so dumbed down and stupid and whatever, many other things. But it's just such a terrible place. And like, at least here you can see that there's a respect within the people in Mauritius. Here there's an integrity about them, and they're hospitable, friendly, at your service. They're not, I can't get into the whole psyche of South Africans. South Africans are envious, they're jealous, they're victimized, they're doing you a favor, even though I'm saying it's their job to do something, but they're doing you a favor. They're self-entitled. What's yours is theirs type of thing. Smash and grab mentality. It's terrible. And so, like, again, I mean, I don't know really what I wanted to talk about, but sometimes for myself, I'm wondering if it's like my mind that's not at peace, or the world around me is not at peace, and or in centeredness. And I think to myself, I'm often thinking about my own state of mind, my own state of well-being and health all around, and how that is, and how much that is in check, and how much is the environment that's playing a part in my disconnect, in my imbalance, in my lack of peace or mindfulness, you know. And it's hard to know this, folks. I know for myself, like, no matter how hard, or I think I know myself in a way, I can't tell sometimes if it's my environment that's troubling me or if it's my mind that's troubling me. Okay, I don't know, it's hard for me to work this out, really, you know. And so not just my environment, but also people in my lives. I'm in a bit of a pickle for myself with people in my life at the moment. I don't really get into too much detail, but there's an individual, one person in particular that I'm very connected to and close to, and sort of, you know, and it's a very difficult relationship for me. It's very, very difficult. I can't get into it because it's confidential. And they're a big factor in my life. They feature in my life daily. And it's a great challenge for me. It's a great, great challenge for me. And sometimes I think, you know, I try and work out again. Okay, so environment is having this much effect. Relationships are having this much effect. Right? Let's say from external point of views. I don't know, whatever it might be. Whether it might be like even sometimes Wi-Fi, radiation, traffic, you know, negative places, environments, cities, shopping centers, whatever. You know, I'm often trying to dissect what is the main vein, what is the main culprit, what's causing the most pressure. And anyway, so I'm trying to still work that out, but I'm finding in particular a relationship in my life that is really holding me back, and yet I'm so tied in to this relationship. I'm so dependent on for rational and reasonable reasoning, and you know, it's hard to get into, but like it's very hard for me to have this person not so much in my life. It's very difficult on many, many fronts. And so I'm feeling at a bit of a pickle at the moment, and I'm also feeling like I'm having to put on a bit of a personality with them, because they're not really of the mind, the open-mindedness or consciousness that I can explain to them what I feel is lacking in our relationship. See how much time I've been speaking here for. Like, I can't get into that with them. They don't want to hear it. It's heartbreaking for them. They just feel frustrated with me, and then they feel guilty because they can't meet me on my level. And so there's no point really in bringing to certain degrees that up. That, like, you know, we're not necessarily compatible, okay? And we just having to make things work for the sake of making it work, because we are dependent on each other from many different factors, right? And so, but I'm saying I need to put on personality, which I don't like. Like, again, to speak from the heart on this matter to this individual is very difficult to do. They're very sensitive about it. They're very insecure, right? They know in themselves that they don't meet up to my expectations. And I think they're healthy expectations. I've been very careful of the expectations that I put on people, because I realize I can have a heavy demand on people being conscious, all right? Being conscious and awake and aware and sensitive and present. And I'm aware of that, and I'm aware of their limitations, and so, but they're sensitive, and I have unrealistic expectations, if I have any expectations at all, you know. Because to have any expectations of thinking that this individual is capable of more, then I'm kidding myself, I'm lying to myself, I'm hoodwinking myself. And I've known this for many, many, many years. This isn't dawning on me now. Right? This isn't dawning on me now, but I do feel that that things have become a little bit more heavy and dense for me with this individual. Like it's become more troubling, I would say, and become a little more inauthentic, because I'm having to not suppress but not openly speak about how I feel that we're not on the same page. And at the same time, even if I do that, I tell you it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make a difference. So I'm like, I don't know. I try and be patient about things and feel that the universe has a plan, right? And the thing is that yes, this individual does hold me back in certain ways. Like again, I realize they can't be as present as I'd like them to be. I can't discuss many things that I'd like to discuss with them, share with them on many levels, whatever it is, experience with them on many levels, and whatever it is. I realize that they're most of the time not present, and they don't know how to be present. So it's hard, you know. It's like kind of if you're dancing with somebody, you know, you let's say, and you're just feeling that they're kind of falling asleep all the time, you know, on your shoulder, and you're like, come on, have a bit of a rhythm here, and then just feel like, you know, and now you're kind of pulling them, and they just keep on falling asleep, and you're just not getting any oomph from them. You're not just getting any feedback, synergy from them. You're not just getting any vibe from them, and it's like, and then eventually it becomes kind of depleting. And so for myself, I'm just of the mindset that I won't compromise me and who I am. Yes, I can't share myself with this person and share experiences with them, but like at the same time, I know that it will be the last straw, basically on the camel's back, if it's compromising to me. And I'm trying to be honest here and feeling like if it is compromising me, then I need to take extra measures. I need to go, but I don't know how on earth to solve the situation, because like I said, we are so dependent on each other from so many factors that I cannot get into. It's rather confidential, actually very confidential, so I can't get into it. But like maybe some of you folks know, just seeing how much time I got here, maybe you know what I'm talking about, right? Like maybe you got people in your life that you are dependent on them and they're dependent on you, and maybe not in the healthiest of ways. But again, this the life that we live in. Financially, okay, is a big factor. Financially, maybe you work together, all right? Maybe the person in your life is sick and you're having to look after them and you can't just leave them and everybody else has left them. There's many, many circumstances. Because I don't like when people come to me sometimes and tell me, oh, well, this person in your life, you must just get rid of them. You know, it's not so simple as that, folks. We are dependent on each other in so many other ways. All of us are dependent on each other in so many ways. And you've got to be careful of the risks that you take. Anyway, so I'm in a pickle, and I don't quite know what to do about it. And it's not that I'm comfortable, and it's not that I've settled with this person, and I've accepted this person, and I'm tolerant, like I am doing that, but I'm saying I'm not unwise about the situation in my life and what's going on here. I'm not in denial of it. I'm not hoping that this person will change. I know that they can't change. But I really don't see or feel a way out. And so I have to be patient and hope that the universe has got a plan for me, you know? And that it will be gentle in a sense. Gentle on both of us. In fact, folks, I could also be talking about two people in my life at the moment now that I think about it. The other one doesn't play such a major factor, but they are very, very much dependent on me. Very much dependent on me. And they also my friend. I've known them for a long time and they've been with me. They've been there for me through some of the hardest, most difficult times in my life. And I owe them that. But they're dependent on me. They're dependent on me for their financial stability, for a lot of their psychological stability. And I can't, this individual's also at the same time making my life very, very difficult. from a business point of view and from from their ego point of view. It's very, there's a lot to be said. But I'm just kind of, sort of being patient. And again, I'm sharing this with you folks because it's my therapy, and also because some of you folks out there also might be in similar situations, And my message is just, I try and keep the faith and just be patient, and it'll all work out when it needs to. When the lessons have been learned, that's needed to be learned through the experiences that's needed to happen, then, the time is that we go our separate ways, and the universe will make that happen in the right time, I really feel. And in the meantime, I can try and be as authentic as I can be, as respectable to these individuals that I can be, and as less compromising to myself as I can be, as true as myself that I can be to them as well, etc. And be as with integrity as much as I can. But it's tricky, folks. It's tricky. Anyways, I'm running out of time, but I just wanted to share that. Thanks for watching. We'll chat soon. Take care.